Liverpool and Arne Slot continue to struggle this season due to so many factors. Now, the Reds recruited very well during the summer, and in fact, people said they won the summer recruitment apart from the fact that they didn't get a defender. But somehow, this new signing, this team that won the Premier League last season, is struggling, and currently they are languishing eighth on the table. Now, what are the problems Arne Slot team is currently facing? Now, one of the problems they are facing is the fact that Florian Wirtz has been struggling to adapt to the Premier League. Currently, he doesn't have any goal, he doesn't have any assists in the Premier League. Now, this does not boil down to him only because I know he has created so many chances and people around him are not making use of those chances. So if they can start making use of those chances he's creating, then I believe that Florian Wirtz's issue will be an issue of the past. Now, we are also having an issue of balancing consistency versus rotation to avoid burnout. Last season, and I actually said that the team had to face burnouts in the Champions League. That was why we couldn't go further, especially against PSG. We saw how the team struggled because of playing the same players over and over again. And this season, Arne Slot wanted to correct that, bringing in new players so they can rotate the team. But right now, balancing that consistency, balance and that burnout to avoid and that rotation to avoid burnouts has not really worked out. That is why we saw people like Karkes, and we see him changing players in the right back and in the left back, in the middle of the pitch. But right now, it's not working, and he has to find a solution to that problem. And that issue is the fact that Ibrahim Konate's defensive error, and there is no one to cover in that position. This season, most of the goals we've conceded has boiled down to individual errors, especially from players like Konate, who has been so poor this season that it's a cause for alarm. Konate, we know he's a very good player, especially for France and for Liverpool. But this season, he has been making schoolboy errors, and that has left Liverpool so fragile at the back of the back. And currently, we did not have anybody to replace him. Gomez is not an able replacement. Unfortunately for Leone, he came in, had a very good game against Southampton, and is injured. This is something I believe they should sort out in January by bringing in Gueye or get somebody else that can cover for Konate, especially the fact that he wants to go to Real Madrid, that he's not signing a new contract. Another issue is the issue of Alexander Isak's fitness, and he has not been able to make any impact. Now, the saga for Isak during the transfer window was one crazy saga. I don't think Liverpool does usually get themselves involved in stuff like that, but somehow, because of the quality of Isak, they stuck their neck, paid an astronomical fee for this guy. But Isak has struggled to stay fit since he came to Anfield. I don't think he has played up to 5 games for Liverpool. He has not been fit, and this is the 11th or the 12th week of the season, and this guy has been in and out of injury, and he has not been fit. So there is no how he can make any impact. This is one of the struggles that Slot is also having. Now, there's also the issue of slow starts and failing to cover from conceding first. Last season, once we concede, we know that we are going to score. The issue this season is the fact that once we concede, the morale dies down. I think this boils down to the captain of the team, where he has to ginger his player, encourage them to put up that fighting spirit. Last time under Jurgen Klopp, you see him beating his chest, telling them like this, telling them to like up their spirit, and before you know it, they go by get the goal. But this season, it has been so poor. Once we concede first, the rest is history. Another problem is the issue of injury and fitness. There's most of the players have not been fit. There've been injury around the team. In almost every position, we've been having injury, especially in the midfield and in defense. And this is great. This has greatly impacted the confidence and how the team play, because you cannot play players who are not available, and you cannot use the ones that are available to play the structure that they don't even understand how to play. Another problem we are having as a team is set piece vulnerability. Like, we've considered like 6 goals from set piece this season, and that is very, very poor. And I hear Arne Slot saying it during the press conference that, hey, teams are playing long balls, we are struggling to, but he has not found the solution to handling those long balls. Even though in the last 2 or 3 games, We didn't concede via long balls, but it shows that we have been vulnerable and we have to do better with long balls. All right. Another issue is the fact that there's a team depth in the wings. All right. Now, Mohamed Salah is the only player we have that can play that right from the right, and that is very poor. I've always said that. Why do we just depend on Salah on that place? Now we have Chiesa. Somehow, Slot does not trust Chiesa to play from the right. In fact, Chiesa plays better from the left, quite and good, because he's a right-footed player. But we are over reliant on Salah on the right, then Gakpo on the left. Last season we had Diaz. Now if Diaz is not there, there is Chiesa, but somehow this man don't play Chiesa until 80 something minutes. So we are very thin. If you don't trust Chiesa, then you have to bring in someone like Semenyo or other wingers to come in and play that position, because that position is very, very thin. Now another problem is the fact that we are not pressing effectively. We are not pressing effectively. Like I said in my earlier video, that we need someone like Semenyo for that press. The only person that presses right now is Szoboszlai. He's the only pressing machine we had. Last season we had Szoboszlai, we had Diaz who can press, we had Nunes who can press, but right now it is only Szoboszlai that can press effectively, and the team looks as though they've forgotten how to press, and this is also a big issue for the whole team. Now finally, but not the least, I'll also say that the death of Jota must have been impacting one or two players, because we know that Jota is a very, very integral member of that team, and his death has left a very big psychological blow on those players. And I think there's a need for them to have a group therapy, for them to have a group session or individual sessions where they can actually talk about this grief. If they have not had that, I believe they should have had, and see how they can overcome it, and so that they can be able to focus on the business at hand. Otherwise, this season will be good as nothing, because right now, the position we are right now, I don't even think that we can still compete for the title. But be it as it may, I want you to give me your comment in the comment section and tell me what you think the problem of Liverpool is this season, and how we can actually, Arne Slot can actually fix it. All right, please follow me and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not done so. Have a wonderful day.